Hi Miss, my name is Yuzi. I will be presenting about the overview and purpose of spiritual and moral education in early childhood education. It is a focus on the importance of moral and spiritual development in young children, emphasize on character building and societal impact. For the introduction, moral and spiritual education play a crucial role in shaping children's overall development. At an early age, children absorb value, belief, and attitudes from their surroundings. These elements influence how they behave, interact with each other, and understand the world. Therefore, it is important to nurture this aspect the early to ensure balanced growth. This is the key point of the overview and purpose of spiritual and moral education in early childhood. For the point number one is importance of moral and spiritual development. Moral development is right, is wrong, and spiritual development is meaning and purpose, foundation for character formation. Then moral development helps children distinguish between right and wrong, guiding their behavior. Spiritual development, on the other hand, allow children to develop a sense of purpose, connection, and inner space. Together, they build a strong foundation for character and influence how children handle challenges and relationships. The next point is learning during kindergarten years. Learning through interaction, observation, and imitation, participation in social activities. During kindergarten, children begin to understand the world through interaction with others. They learn by observing adults and peers, imitating behavior, and participating in group activities. This stage is critical as it shapes their social and moral understanding. And then point number three is role of teacher. Teacher felicitator of values, create supportive environment. Teacher play an important roles in guiding children moral and spiritual development. They act as role model and influence children through their action and teaching methods. By creating a positive and nurturing classroom, teachers help children learn and practice values such as honesty, respect, empathy, and responsibility. The next one is teaching method. Guide discussions, cooperative play, daily routines. Teachers use various methods to instill moral value like storytelling, help children understand more lessons, while discussions encourage thinking and reflections. Cooperative may promote teamwork and empathy, and daily routines reinforce positive behavior consistently. And then Malaysian multicultural context. Uh, Malaysian is multicultural is and multi-religions country. This diversity makes it important to teach children about respect and acceptance. By exposing children to different culture and belief, they learn to appreciate diversity and live harmoniously with others. And then developing tolerance and unity. Spiritual and moral education help children move beyond simple subsistence They learn to understand and value difference among people. This fosters tolerance and promote unity, which is essential for maintaining peace in a diverse society. The next one is purpose of moral and spiritual educations. The purpose of moral education, spiritual education is not only to develop good individual but also responsible citizens. Children who learn this value are are more likely to make ethical decisions, respect others, and contribute positive to society. And then the con- contribution to nation building. Moral and spiritual education um, contribute to nations and building by shaping individuals who are compassionate and socially aware. These individuals help create a peaceful and cooperative society, especially in a diverse country like Malaysia. And then the theor- theories perspective like Jane Piaget, cognitive development, Lawrence Colbert, moral reasoning stage, and Sigmund Freud early experience, and Imam Al-Ghazali is spiritual purification. Uh, these different theories explain how children develop morally like spiritually. Championship and Colbert focus on how thinking evolves, and Fred emphasized early experience, and Al-Ghazali highlight inner spiritual developments. These perspectives show that development is influenced by many factors. The last one is holistic approach. A holistic approach is consider all aspects of a child's development, more and moral and spiritual growth in not separate but connected to emotion, thinking, and social interaction. Educator must integrate all these elements to support round development. That's all for me, and I will pass to the next presenter.
So hi Miss, my name is Vanessa Lindsay. So today I will present about my part, which is the spiritual concept about the two theory or two that we choose, which is Piaget theory, moral development, and also Fred psychoanalysis theory. So today I'm going to telling about how they're both of them giving their own ideas on how children develop their sense of morality, and for the Fred, it's how the groundbreaking work on psychoanalysis that the two of them giving the different of their own opinions about the child growth. So we move for the first point. So before that, I will talking about the briefly about Jean Piaget. So the Jean Piaget is famous for his work on cognitive development, on how the children learn to think and how to diagnose the reasons. He also explored how their understanding about the morality develops. He believed that children don't just learn the morals, they also actively construct their own understanding of them as they grow and interact with the world. So for this Piaget theory, which is about Piaget stage of moral development. So for the Piaget, we can identify the two primary stages in how the children will develop their moral reasoning, that they are not just knowing about the rules, but about why they believe those rules are right or wrong, or how they know Each of rules are giving the right things and the wrong things. For the next point is autonomous morality. Actually, the autonomous morality is about the first stage that we can see in younger children around age 4 to 7. The word of heteronomous basically means under another law. In this stage, children see rules as absolute, rigid, and handed down by powerful adults, like by the parents or the teachers. They also have the key characteristic, which is for the first point is rules are sacred, which is they believe that rules can be changed. If the rule are exist, it's only the one way to make it happen. So it also focus on consequence, like what matter most is the outcome of an action, not the intention behind it. Or if they do the something bad happen, is seen as punishment for breaking a rule, even if it was an accident. In the morality, they are doing this story. They are more into struggle to see the things from another person perspective. So example that I can make is we can imagine that the two kids. So one of the kids was intentionally break a small toy out of anger, and another accidentally break a much bigger, more it way into more too expensive vase while playing. A child in the heteronomous stage might think the one who broke the vase is more bad simply because the damage was greater. Even though the intention was different, it's actually all about what it happened rather than why it happened. The two of things on the what happened and why it happened. Second stage is autonomous morality, which is morality of cooperation. As children can get a bit older, usually from around 8 to 9 onwards, they are moved into a second stage, which is get called autonomous morality, or it means self-governing. This is where they find it interesting to learn and to know. In this stage, children are more understand that rules are social agreements. They are more realized that rules can be changed if people agree to it, and that intention really matter. Morality become more internalized and flexible. We can see that they see rules as helpful guidelines that created by people, not divine decrees. They can now understand that any accident is different from deliberate wrongdoing. They are considered the motive behind action. So they meaning by that if they do the wrongdoing things or they do the intentionally action, they have a story behind of it. This is on how they develop a stronger sense of fairness and understand the idea of it, or they can treat the others as they like to be treated. Example, we going back to the first example the best example. An older child would likely to understand that accidental breaking of the vase, while unfortunate, isn't as morally wrong as intentional breaking something out of spite. They are more considered that how the child feeling and the circumstances that can suggest them on how to fix it together. The role of educators. There are a few points which is the first foster cooperation. We can, as an educator, we can create opportunities for children to work together or doing anything in a group. By doing the things in a group, they can share the ideas and they can helping each other to solve the problem collaboratively. This help them to learn about mutual respect and understanding. And don't just we as a educators or lecturers don't just tell that children wasn't right or wrong. Right, we show them what is right and what is wrong situation. We can present them with a moral, or we can ask them about what do you think about this thing, or we can do the discussion together. As educators, you have to help them to explore more different perspective, meaning by you have to listen to their perspective, and you also can give the good example or good perspective for them. When we are trying to discuss the action, we can guide the children to think about why someone did something, not just what they did. This builds empathy and non-smart reasoning. Children can learn by watching, demonstrate the how to be fairness, respect each other, and they're more understanding in their own interaction as actually is a good things. So next is focus to the Fred psychoanalytic theory. So first is the unconscious mind. Fred Moss' idea was the concept of the unconscious mind. He believed that much of what drives us, our desire, fears, memories, and instinct, or the lies hidden beneath the surface of our awareness, on how we think about. He put mind. He compared the mind as a iceberg and used as iceberg analogy, which is the small part we see above the water is our conscious mind, what we are aware of right now. But we can see the massive part hidden beneath the waves. That's the unconscious, and Fred believed it will hold immense power over our thought, feelings, and action, often without us even realizing it. And then we move to the second one. Structure of personality. They will have three, which is they have the ID, ego, and superego. These are the three things that Fred created for the personality. The ID is meaning the baby part of us, present from birth. It's all about instinct and immediate gratification. It operates on the pleasure principle, seeking to satisfy a basic urge and desire without considering consequence. The ego, this develops as we interact with the world. The ego is the rational problem-solving part. It can operate the reality principle that we are trying to meet the ID desires and realistic and socially acceptable ways. It's the mediator between the ID and the outside world. For the superego, this is our internalized moral compass developed from our parents and society. It can represent our sense of right and wrong, our conscience, it strives for perfection and can make us feel guilty if we do something wrong. Example that these are three constantly working to shape our behavior. The ego job is to balance the impulsive demand of the ID with the moral institution and also the superego and the realities of the external world. The next point is psychosexual development. Freud also believed that personality develops through a series of psychosexual stages during childhood. Each stage focus on different erogenous zone and present unique development tasks. It have a few stage here. Oral stage is focused on the mouth like sucking and beating. Anal stage is 1 to 3 focus on toilet training and control. Number 3 is pelvic stage, it's called pelvic stage, 3 to 6 years. Focus on the genitals or development of their own complexes. Latency stage, 6 years to puberty. The sexual urge are dormant, focus on social and intellectual skills. And the last stage is it's called genital stage, which is a maturation of sexual interest. So Fred theorized that how children navigate conflicts in this early stage significantly impact their adult personality, fixation, or getting stuck at a stage that could be lead to certain personality traits or issue later that they doesn't know how to handle it by themselves. The importance of childhood experience. This brings us to a cornerstone of Fred theory, which is it called the profound importance of childhood experience. Fred also argued that our early years, especially our interactions with caregivers and how our psychosexual needs are met. This is the way we resolve conflicts during those early stage, the relationship we form, and the any trauma that we might experience can have a lasting impact. By this, we can shaping our unconscious patterns, our relationship, and our overall psychological well-being throughout life. The last one is implication of educators by Fred psychologists. They are recognized that a child behavior might be a surface manifestation of deeper or might be unconscious feelings or maybe the issue that not be settled. A tantrum might not just be defense, but a cry for attention or maybe a sign of unmet needs. We also can provide a nurturing and secure environment where children feel safe to express their emotion, even they doesn't know whether the emotion are in the good emotion or in the bad emotion. This can help them to prevent repression and reduce the likelihood of unconscious conflict using problems. As an educators, we also ask children or the student to be mindful that a child home life and early experience outside of school can significantly impact on with their learning and social interaction. That a supportive approach is a key on how they settle or how they handle their own emotion. So through the Piaget and Fred analysis theory, we can see how Piaget is more about children that from rigid rule following to understanding intention and fairness. And then we also explore that Fred view of the mind with is as hidden unconscious. It's about about personality of the structure and the critical role of early childhood. With their approach are different, which is Piaget focus on cognitive reasoning and Fred is only for the inner. But both offer incredibly valuable lens for understanding the complex, vulnerable process of the child development. By appreciating this theory, we can become more empathic, effective, and supporting in nurturing the young minds around us. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Leni Anak Boroni Ganesha. I'm from MLC College, Sarawak. I'm taking Bachelor in Early Childhood Education. Next part, I will like to present the moral concept in early childhood education. Moral concept can help children to understand what is right and wrong, and they learn this slowly to their daily experience by observing adult behavior. At the young age, children often think something is wrong because they may get punishment, but as they grow up, they begin to understand the reason behind the rules and also learn to consider other people's feelings. They are important moral values that children need to develop, such as respect, kindness, honesty, responsibility, and fairness. This can be seen in a simple action like telling the truth, sharing toy, taking turn, and helping their other friend. Respect also can be taught by encouraging children to use polite words, listen to other people, accept different, while kindness and empathy can be developed when children learn to care for the other people. Teachers play an important role only by correcting behavior, but by guiding children, explaining what is right and wrong, and being good role model in safe and supportive classroom. Moral development is very important in early childhood because it can help children build social skills, manage their emotions, make good decisions, and solve the problem peacefully. In conclusion, moral development takes time and with proper guardian from adult, children will grow into individuals who are able to make a good, responsible choice in their life. That's all from my part. Next, I would like to pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shamira Inta anak Kidwil, and I'm present about theories related to spiritual and moral education. The theories of Jean Piaget and Sigmund Freud are very important in how understanding how children develop moral and spiritual values. These theories expand on how children learn to differentiate between right and wrong. As an educator, understanding these theories can help us to guide children in developing good behavior, values, and character from an early age. Piaget believed that children do not simply follow rules and also given by adults, but they are actively construct their own understanding of morality through interactions with others. So this means children learn what is right or wrong based on their experiences, especially when they play, communicate, and also solve problems with their peers or others. In the heteronomous stage, which is usually happens between from 5 to 10 years old, children see rules as fixed and also unchangeable, where they believe rules must always be followed because they are made by adults. So at this stage, children are judged actions based on the outcomes, not the intentions. For example, a children may think that breaking many cups accidentally is worse than breaking one cup on purpose. In the autonomous stage, which happens after 10 years old, children may begin to understand that rules can be flexible and agreed upon by people. So they start judging actions based on the intentions rather than just consequences. At this stage, children become more empathic, fair, and also cooperative, especially when they interacting with their peers. In early childhood education, Piaget's stories can be applied by encouraging children to actively participate in group activities, where teachers can promote moral development by allowing children to share ideas, discuss, and also work together. So this can help children understand about the fairness, cooperation, and also the consequences of their actions. About the Freud theories is where the Freud explains about moral development through his psychoanalytic theory, which is focused on the unconscious mind and also personality structure, where he believes children's behavior is influenced by the internal process, not just by external experiences. Based on the Freud theory, also Freud divide personality into 3 parts, which is the ID, ego, and also superego, where the ID is present from birth and focuses on satisfying desire without thinking about rules, and the ego develops later and helps balance desire with reality. And the last one is superego, represents the moral value learned from parents, teachers, and also society, and it can help children understand what is right and so what is wrong. Freud also emphasized that early relationships, especially with parents and also with teachers, are very important because children learn moral behavior by observing and imitating adults. When adults shows good behavior, children are more likely to follow and develop similar values. Okay, based on the Piaget's theory, teachers should encourage cooperation, sharing, also problem solving for children, where children should also be given opportunities to solve conflicts on their own. Okay, based on the Freud's theory, also teachers should provide a nurturing and supportive environment to help children feel safe and also emotionally secure, which it can support moral development. So this is the implications for teachings. For the comparison is Piaget focuses on cognitive development, on how children think about the roles through the interaction, while Freud focuses on more emotions, unconscious processes, and early relationships. So both theories are different, but they complement each other in understanding children's moral development. Both theories, which is Piaget's and also Freud, provide valuable insights into moral and also spiritual development, where Piaget helps us understand on how children think and reason, while Freud helps us understand the emotional and psychological influence. So by combining both theory, Piaget and also Freud, educators also can support children in becoming well-rounded individual with the strong moral values. Okay, personally, although Piaget and also Freud had different perspectives, but their ideas can be synthesized where they provide more complete pictures of how children develop morality and also spirituality. Based on the Piaget's contributions, Piaget's story also focuses on the rational and cognitive side of morality, where he believed that children learn through interaction, dialogue, and also cooperation. So in practice, this means teachers can design activities that can encourage critical thinking and also teamwork, that can help children understand rules and also fairness. Sigmund Freud's contribution is where he emphasized that the emotional side of morality, where he argued that children's moral development is shaped by their emotional needs, security, and also the guidance that they receive from parents or also authority figures. So this highlights the importance of firm moral that direct and also moral direction and also emotional support in early education. Another explanation is when we bring these two perspectives together, we can see that how children learn morality in two ways, where the first one is through peer interactions, as Piaget suggested, and through emotional security and also parental guidance, as Freud emphasized. So these both theory are essential for balanced development. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, Miss. My name is Nurnisha Shamira binti Badi. I'm taking Bachelor in Early Childhood Education and I'm from Mlcsarawak. So today I will present my part, which is the the diversity of the religion and the belief in the Malaysia. Okay, for the first for the first point is multicultural country. What I can say for the young children is the Malaysia is unique, the country, because the peoples from the different religions live together and peacefully. So for example, like we can see is most temples and church is the same area. So the second one is the main religion is Islam, Buddhist, Christianist, and Hindu. So like we know, Islam is the official religion, but the government allows freedom to everyone to practice their belief. So for example is Malaysia celebrate the different festivals together, like Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Chinese New Year, and Deepavali and Christmas also. So the third point is the freedom of the religion. And then the fourth one is the festival celebrate together. So here what I can say is this diversity is not only see the religion, but that also can see the daily life. So for example is the school sometimes they organize the celebration where the children learn about the different culture among themselves. The next slide is about the role of the teacher and inclusive the practice. The first one is inclusive environment. Okay, so here what I can say is the teachers must make sure the child feel included and respect in the classroom. For example, not the favoritism of the children, something like, oh, the Malay one is the good one, but the Chinese one is the naughty one. No, we cannot say that, so that they feel like comfortable and include all the culture in the classroom. And then the second one is respect religion's needs. For example is they should avoid yes, like I said just now, favoritism, and treat all the children equality regardless of the religion. So so I can see for example is allow the children share about their culture experience during the classes. So when they talk about the different cultures, they can know, oh, for the Chinese New Year we need to eat the orange. So in Hari Raya we need to eat the curry ayam and curry chicken and rendang. So they know, oh, for the Hari Raya the people is different food to eat. Okay, the third one is multicultural and multicultural teachings activity. So here teacher also needs to be sensitive to the children's belief and practice. So for example is they do the art and craft for the young children's, like for example in Hari Raya we can do art and craft for ketupat. And then for Deepavali, we can make a rogali, or for the Chinese New Year, it maybe we can draw the orange or something like using the red color. So here what I can see, what I can say in this role of the teachers are make sure the student are feel comfortable with their friend that different culture in the classroom. So that what I can say is in the morning we can sing the multicultural song, for example Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Deepavali, and so on. Okay, the second part is the important in early childhood education. The first one is the best stage to introduce diversity to the young children. So the early childhood is the most important stage for learning's value. So for the stage is like they age like something 4 to 5, 5 to 6 years old. So for example the teachers reads the storybooks about the different culture and the region to the young children, so that they can know, they can feel the story about. The second point is build social and moral development. So in the age the children are curious to and open-minded, so it's easier to teach them about the accepting the different culture. For example, like children learn a simple greetings like Selamat Hari Raya, Happy Deepavali, Happy Chinese New Year to their friends or their teachers or their environment, like the community outside. The third one is the encourage respect and the understanding. So here what I can say is the when the children understand about the different culture for the early age, when they grow up, they are more respect and less judgmental about the different culture and the religion outside it. So we as a teacher, we need to promote for the young children is early, so that they can know what is the different culture and the religion. So the example is in the classroom, the teacher can make a discussion for the why these people celebrate this festival. For example, all right, the Malay people will celebrate the Hari Raya, and then the Chinese people can celebrate the Happy Chinese New Year, and when the Indian, they can celebrate the Wesak Day or Deepavali. Okay, the last one is the social impact for this topic, and then is the first one is build communication and teamwork. So what I can say here is the children interact with with the different background, and then they learn how to communicate with their respect on their opinion. So like we just said just now, the children are might to respect to their different religions, so that they can know about the how the culture of the different with different culture religions. So the second one is develop empathy and tolerance. So this point is what I can give the example is where they help to build the friendship and the confidence in the classroom, and then also the children can learn to share about the how to solve the conflict while the politics or something like their friends say like this, but they friends can know how to solve the conflict respectfully. So for the third one is create the unity in the society. So here the value is actually help to create the peaceful and the unity of a society. And then for the example is we celebrating the diversity in the school to promote to unity. So what I can say is in the kindergarten, they have to celebrate the different culture to the student know about the Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Deepavali, and so on, so that they can feel, oh, my teacher I respect my different culture, so that they can feel like this school are talk about the culture and the different, and they are not comparing the religions, no. So what I can say all the point is the teaching the diversity religion for the young children age is help to build the more understanding, respectful, and harmony in the Malaysia. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Good afternoon to our lecturer, Madam Nur Aidila Natasha binti Khairul Nazri. My name is Angelina Ngui. For my part, I will be presenting the conclusions. Moral and spiritual development are very important in early childhood education because they help shape children's values and behavior. Children learn these values through observation, interaction, and guidance from teachers. In a multicultural country like Malaysia, this education is essential to promote respect, tolerance, and unity among different religions and cultures. Theories for Freud, Piaget, Colbert, and Imam al-Ghazali also show that moral development is influenced by cognitive, social, emotional, and spiritual factors. In conclusion, early moral and spiritual education helps children grow into responsible individuals and contributes to a harmonious society. That's all for me. Thank you.